Isabelle, you go first.
Okay. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for that introduction. It was really nice. Yes, it's nice. Thank you all of you for being here today. And yeah, so my name is Isabelle. I've been in the education line for about 12 years now, working with preschoolers. Soon I'll be working with early primary level. So keeping my fingers crossed to get that opportunity to go into an international school. Yes, I'm currently the assistant principal of Beacon House at Jalan Yutan. And I'm also a teacher there, so juggling dual roles. But yeah, I enjoy teaching. I love teaching. I've tried administration work and all that, but my passion is still teaching. It's still listening to parents, listening to the children especially. Yes, yeah. Because I look forward to go to work because of the children. Every day you just learn something from them. And yeah, kids say the darnest things. It's very true. All right, so that's all from me. Zoe?
Hi everybody, I'm Zoe, I'm from Malacca. I've been in the education industry, I could say all my life, but professionally 6 years. I work in a school called Kinderwelt in Malacca. I am a teacher and I'm also the operational manager of the school. Right now, currently what I'm doing is I am using facilitation techniques to communicate with both teachers, parents, and also children, and also in the classrooms. So today, I'm just very excited to be here with everybody and also to learn from your experience as parents, perhaps, if we do have parents in the house, and also share. So we get started now? Shall we get started? Okay. Let me wait. I'm not a very techy person, but I'll try my best. Share screen. Can everyone see everything?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So before we start, I would like to say our roles here. Isabelle and I, our role for today is to create conversations and to open up a safe space for everyone to share without any judgments. So I would like to invite everyone to be very mindful with words and understand that whatever that's being shared in this group stays between us. Sometimes it may be very personal. We just would like this to be a safe space for everyone to share. So with that being understood, does everyone understand it? Good. Fantastic. All right, so let's start. So today we are going to create conversations about balancing love and care in children. But before we start, let's get to know each other just a little bit with a cocktail session. I hope everyone has a drink in their hands.
Water?
Yeah. Water. I got homemade kombucha. So we're going to introduce our names, how many children you have. If you don't have kids or if you're a teacher, all the children in the class are our kids. And what was the hardest thing you faced about raising children? So perhaps we will take around 3 minutes to just self-reflect, and then we will head to the breakout rooms. Shall we? Okay. 3 minutes. Should I play music?
Give it a go. Why not?
Okay, I'll create the breakout rooms now, Zoe.
Yes. Isabel should be. You shouldn't open the breakout rooms now. You should let them share finish first. No, reflect minutes first, then we open the breakout.
So we just a note that the music is very loud, so we can't hear you.
Ah,
Okay.
Isabel already went in, right? Actually, we should.
Yes.
Actually, we should like, we should finish first, reflecting, then go to the breakout rooms.
Okay. Well, we're already in the breakout room, so why don't we give it a try? And maybe what we can do is share the
Share
questions
inside
again in the chat lah, or in the
Okay.
broadcast. So don't worry about it. This is also a place to practice and experiment with it. So be easy on yourselves as well.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna go into room 2 because that's where Mars and Isabel are, and then I'm assuming you're gonna go into room 1 with Mother
Yes.
and Balai.
Um,
Hello, hello.
Hi, okay. Daniel, nice to see you here.
I know.
What a surprise.
Yes, nice to see you all too. But I'm not, well, I am surprised. I actually rushed back in the gym and I'm back.
Yay. We were missing your presence, Daniel, for the past 2 days.
2 days, 1 day.
Yesterday dengan
Oh, today evening. Yeah.
Mana.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hi, Zoe.
Boss, how are you?
I'm not too sure who she's talking to now, but
Did I miss something?
nothing, Zoe. Absolutely nothing.
Daniel is here. He just surprised us. Ta-da!
Hello. So how was the session just now? Anyone wants to share?
Yeah, I'm happy to share. I thought it was a really nice conversation. I got in a bit later into the breakout room, but I know Mars has children and she got to share from two different, aspects of having her own children and how they've grown in a different generation, in a different space and environment, and then now having the workforce and her participants as her own children as well. And then and then Isabelle sharing about just the excitement of working with students and what that brings with it. And I got to also share about what it's like being an aunt to amazing, like a nephew and a niece, and what that's done for me as well in my parental instincts, and reducing my anxieties for when I do have my own children. But I think at the end of the day, what we kind of spoke about was how to create space for children to be children and not imposing our adult lenses on them and our adult experiences on them, but just encouraging them and helping them have the biggest world possible.
Thank you, Kathy. Anyone from the other group? Mala. Thank you.
I learned a new term. It's called time in versus time out. And it's quite brilliant. Because time out is when you punish a child, put him or her in a corner somewhere and ignore them for a bit, which will lead to probably some of them being fidgety or whipping up new ideas on how to get into more trouble. Time in, on the other hand, Zoe explained, which is a very interesting concept, is you take that same child who acted up, because it's actually a call for attention. So you take that child, put the child beside you, and finish off whatever you have to do, and then pay full attention on the child and really listen. It's an opportunity then, to understand and maybe course correct or help. So thank you so much. That's really valuable. It also applies to me with adults that I deal with. It's very often for us, as if we are people managers, if we don't like a particular staff, to put them in what we call cold storage, which is a timeout, right? We don't want to talk to them. We don't want to see them. We don't even want their shadow to fall across, near our rooms, perhaps. So it's a common trait. I don't like you, so I don't want to see you, right? But that does not solve the problem. It just really allows things to fester. So what would be better now? I'm just thinking I should just calmly take that person, in my space and do what I have to do first, let myself calm down as well, and then have a conversation. So thank you so much for that, Zoe.
Thank you for sharing, Mala. You put it in better terms than I did. I learned something new too. So, Kathy, I think I need to be host to share. Oh yeah, I saw the
You're
button.
able to, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay, got it. So today we are going to we are again going to talk about balancing love and care for children. So right now, on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you think you are at balancing love and care to children? So we can use the annotate tool if you have it in your phones or your laptop, and you can go to the STEM tool and perhaps you can use the heart sheet. Oh, or you can write in the group chat, or you can write on the screen. If from the scale of 1 to 10, where are you at?
So 1 meaning you
One
can't
meaning
balance between love and care to children, and then 10 meaning you're excellent at it. Nice, you got a bunch of caring people here. Loving, caring.
fantastic.
Who's the blue line?
Who's the blue? The one that writes 7?
Oh, 7. Okay, all right. That's
Ah,
7. Okay.
That's me.
Okay.
So hold on. Let me see. So we are going to pair up and we're going to share why we put ourselves at that numbers. Isabelle?
Yeah, coming. You open all rooms. Yeah.
Do you need some support, Isabelle? I'm happy to support you. Even just to walk you through. You're on mute.
Like the breakout rooms, Kathy, they are like fixed.
Okay, so you're going to go to open breakout rooms. Okay, once this closes. We have another 25 seconds.
No, but you can come out of this. So go to breakout room and do what?
Sorry?
What do you do? Go to breakout room and do what?
Go to the breakout room and share where you put yourself on the scale and what's the
No. I mean, as in like Kathy saying how to break people up into different groups.
Yeah. So Isabelle, if you go ahead and open your breakout room functions, you see right at the bottom, there's an option to recreate, or you can add a room. But I would suggest you recreate.
Or we can just move the people, because there's so little people, we can just manually move them.
Yeah.
I
So
love the way we
if you
all-
do, you need to add a room, but if you recreate, you can just make it so that it's 2 people per room. Are you able to see that?
7 of us.
Yes.
It's okay.
So just remember that Zoe, there's 2 Zoes here. So there's actually 6 people.
Daniel, you're on mute.
Or 7.
So nice to know that I'm on mute. Story of my life. What I was saying was Bhavani 7.
Yes, Pamani is with us, so it's 7.
Sorry, phone ran out of battery.
Oh no. Isabelle, do you see the breakout rooms and the
Yes.
recreate?
I do. Okay. Done.
Okay.
Open all rooms.
All right.
Are we the only ones here again? Hey, you're muted. You're muted.
Are we in the main room?
Yes, but we're the only ones here.
Oh my god. Wonder what they're talking about, man.
Wait, the question was only why you chose that number, right?
Yeah lah. Where are they? Okay, can send message. Wait, check. Check. To everyone. I think if I send message, only you can see.
Yeah.
Because everyone is just us. Eh, mana diorang ni? How many minutes ah?
Itulah.
This one is until 10 o'clock, right?
Yes.
It didn't say how long. Now we are being recorded.
Alamak.
Yeah. We're in the main room. Being recorded. Okay, let me send a message. Let me send a message. A WhatsApp message. Okay. Let's see what they say. I think you can.
Sorry?
I think you can continue and bersihkan your rumah. Let me find out what they're up to.
Okay.
Who's birthday the rumah and who's up to what?
I am
You're
bersihkan
here.
rumah.
Darling, I've been here all the while. You don't know. I'm a Jedi.
Visible man.
Okay,
We're all here.
we all here.
Fine, okay.
Kathy, disclaimer. Mars and I may have spoken some things in the main room. Not realizing it's being recorded.
You say, hey, where are they? So long
Okay.
like-
Letting me know. Back to Zoe and Isabel.
Yeah, back to
All right,
Zoe and
so-
Isabel.
Actually, right, feeling the mood in the group here, majority of us, we don't have children. Actually, except for Mars. Okay, except for Mars. She has 2. Most of us, we don't have children. Uh, so,
But children don't have to come
Mother
from
also has children.
no, but children don't have to come from our own wombs, or loins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anyway.
however, actually, I would like to open the space up to anyone in this group. If let's say you would like to know or share anything from, or ask anything from, just throw a question to the group instead of us trying, because what we have planned today is more of a facilitation for parents and teachers. So it might not come up, but what we can do is we just have a chat, have a conversation about what your experiences are with children, if let's say you're open to it, but I can also continue what we have planned. We have another half an hour left.
Okay, I can, if I may share something. Okay, I may have children that are grown up, but what the perspective I can come from as of today is that because I also am experienced in the generational work, corporate work. So what I have come to realization is that at every time frame or timeline or decade, if I may say, there's a different approach to handling children, and another realization to know as parents is that we need to be very, very relevant. Is that the word? I'm not sure is that the word, but up to date lah, right? Is on what's going on with our children nowadays versus when we were growing up. That's all my learnings are for the past few years. So the thing is to ask ourselves is that what's in right now, for the future of our generation. There's what do we do now as parents to ensure that the future generation, our children later on when they become adult, they will be the adult that is what do you call that? That is up to date lah. I lack of word, yeah, up to date for that time. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the question lah I asked to the floor.
Actually, that's a really good question. I really love that topic because I was just doing personal research on this. Kids pre-COVID and kids post-COVID. Now we are not talking about a generational change, we are talking about a pandemic change in kids. So it's what you actually shared. The question is very, very important, which I feel like not only parents but also teachers and any adult should be asking this question. What is in right now for the kids? How are they changing? How we should change in order to keep up with the kids? Because if we look really closer and deeper into it, children at the age of 3 is starting to say, I want to die. That is from personal experience. Children age 3, I want to die. After I die, I burn. After I die, I burn. And nobody has talked to this child about this before. Not the parents, not the grandparents, and definitely not the school, and not other 3-year-old kids. So these are like COVID babies, Yeah, so last time before COVID, the research was at the age of 7, children had started having suicidal thoughts. So now post-COVID, I'm not sure anymore. So there is not a generational change. I think it's a pandemic change in children. There is higher diagnosis of ADHD. I work with one of the 3 educational therapists in Malaysia. He's in our center, one of them, and he also saw a spike increase of ADHD children in schools. A lot of them go undiagnosed and being labeled as naughty, impulsive, not able to control themselves, and mischievous. However, with the right help and the right support, they are actually geniuses in the making. Their brain moves so fast, they could create a lot of things out of nothing. Stories, games, even books, studying, drawing, anything they can create using their hands. So that question is a very good question. Anyone have their own opinions about it?
I have a question about that question. Is this something that is more apparent today because we research it? Or has this actually been around? It's just that we never identified it? Because I know, like in the past, we have kids who are naughty and whatever. It's just, you just get whatever you get, one smack here, or get chucked in one corner for a bit. But maybe now is it because we identify? I'm not sure. Just asking.
this is my experience in the school. Every year we have around 160 to 180 children a year, and the educational therapist has been with us for 20 years. So he did say that he's like, whenever for our school, this is within our school, whenever we see behaviors that is not typical in children, because we do, as teachers, we are not able to diagnose, but what we can do is we look for signs. We look for signs, and early intervention is very important. So when the child tick all the boxes, we have to send for an assessment. So the percentages from the therapist is definitely higher than before. He is now like 68 years old, and he's booked full 8 hours a day up to Saturday. And last time it wasn't like that. Last time it was only the autistic kids, not so much of ADHD. But he says that it might be a diet change. Children nowadays, they eat more sugar. It might be overstimulation from our environment now is overstimulating for kids. So it might be that technology, perhaps he doesn't know. There's not much proven research done on this. So it is just speculation. However, children nowadays, they are more jumpy. Children, I think, Isabelle, you will notice that nowadays, more and more children are not having afternoon naps anymore. I have children who are 3 and 4, no afternoon naps. If they have afternoon naps, they'll sleep at 1 a.m., 2 a.m.
Yes.
And they wake up at 8.
Wait. They don't have naps because they are not allowed to have naps, or they don't want to have naps?
They don't want to have naps sometimes, but most of the time the parents don't allow them to have nap, because once they nap, they don't sleep at night.
Oh my goodness.
And these parents, they do not have TV time. Like, their screen time is only on Saturdays, Sundays. Monday to Fridays, no screen time. In school, there's no screen time. But if they nap, they will sleep at 12 a.m. or 1 a.m.
I feel like part of it is also, I mean, if we just look at the way our human society has shifted over the years, right? We used to be such a community-based outdoors together with so many other people, and now we're so isolated. Everyone's in their own homes, doing their own things all the time. Where does the energy get spent for a child? There's so much of energy that needs to get spent, and that it's good for them to spend. But because, and I'm sure this is even pre-pandemic, right? Just looking at my own nephew's life, our neighborhoods are not what it used to be. We don't have our neighborhood friends that we can just go over to their house and like spend hours doing God knows what, making up the silliest games in the world. But our energy was spent somewhere. And now there's no place to spend that energy. Parents are afraid to let the children go out. There is no, neighborhood support and community support. And I feel like that plays into the challenge as well, as much as, all of these other pieces are there. But the way our society has shifted from groups to individuals also plays such a huge part. And I think that's also where like this whole piece really interests me. I mean, if I was not doing facilitation, the thing that I love researching the most is early childhood development, right? And half the time I'm just like, there's so much in this space, and I really do feel like all of us have to play a part. All of us have to come and say, you know what, I am as much a contributor to this challenge and this issue as anyone else is. But what I do see happening, and I think this is where my heart goes out to teachers and school systems, is the responsibility is pushed on the school systems and the teachers. And then the responsibility is not taken to a higher level in the home, whereas previously values were taught in the home, morals were taught in the home, speaking to each other in a certain way, communication was taught in the home. And now that's all passed into a syllabus. And there's only so much a syllabus can teach, but really we all know, I learn when I see someone else's life. I learn when I see congruence in someone else's life, and that's not happening because children don't even see their parents or adults in these spaces as much. Yeah.
Actually, that's kind of true. That's why, in my experience, like the school that I'm with right now, I'm very lucky to have parents, because when the parents entered the school that I'm at, we usually use this scenario to explain. The child is like a table. They have 4 pillars: the school, the community, the parents, and the environment. So we play and if there are even if there are 2 pillars down, the child is still standing up. But if there's 3 pillars down, the child will fall. That's how important the pillars are. So parents who come in the school, they are as much involved, although they are working parents, they are as much involved in the child's life, whatever they can do. And we work together. We work together with the parents in order to support the child, especially for children. I have met in the school that I'm at, usually children with special abilities, they come. When I mean special, their superpowers might be different ways. Some of them are very into cars. They don't fit into the normal school where they have to do writing every single day. So basically, in the school where I'm at, we do community-based things. So every once a week, we have outdoor classes, 3 hours, fully outdoors, rain or shine. Then every day, at least 2 hours outdoors and 1 hour indoors. So we do spend a lot of energy spent with the children playing and doing everything, but still same issue. They don't nap. Not all, but maybe 5%. And their parents are like, organic, no sugar, no candy, no cakes, no McDonald's, but the child doesn't nap. So that's why, and the child is like 3-year-old, 3-year-olds. They don't nap. They don't eat sugar. They eat capsicum sticks for snacks. For a snack, capsicum sticks. You see Daniel 3.
Shall send Daniel to understudy this child.
I might be the wrong person to be understudied.
No, I
But
think she
if
meant
I
you
can
should understudy
also
them.
add to that would be also a nightmare, not for me, but for the parents and the grandparents. But to add to the conversation and the diversity of the conversation, the nucleus, which is the family, has totally changed. So if I remember those days, I was going to tell the years. That would give away terribly my age, but you all know lah, especially some of you. In the 80s, families were close. There was either the mum or the dad at home, or both. But today, well, before COVID lah, so let's not blame pandemic lah, poor fella. Let's look at before COVID. The parents were holding 2 jobs. Mom goes to work, dad goes to work. The child is left at home, and the person taking over the role of mom and dad was the Indonesian maid. And when the Indonesian maid goes, "Pergi tidur," they will sleep. But if the mom or dad tells them to go and do something, it's like no effect. It's like, you're not here, so just give me the money and I'll be happy. COVID kind of changed that because mom and dad were forced to be at home. That's the best part lah. Got no choice now. And the mom and dad were like, I don't know what to do. I'm at home. I have to work. And so we hid behind this thing called work lah. I've got calls to make, so don't disturb me. Okay. And for the life of me, being in the same house, obviously the maid had to go back, or most of the maids had to go back. Being in the same house, the mom or dad doesn't know what's happening to the child who is just upstairs in their room. And so that whole dynamics of the family literally has changed as a whole. And I think that's also one of the key things adding on to both Maz, Mala, and Kathy's conversation is, who does the kid look up to? And I think we're having that same conversation in the breakout room, right, Zoe? Who's my role model? So I was with, just a couple of weeks ago, I was in one of the Catholic churches, and we were talking to some of the kids who were from the B40 group. And this was not me. So one of the other mentors, one of the other mentors asked the child, and all of us were within hearing distance, asked, how's your mom and dad? And the child turned around and said, what is a mom and dad? Yeah, and we all froze, giving the same look on the face that you guys are giving right now. And I went, you don't know what is a mom or dad? You don't? Do you know who your mom and dad is? And they said, no, don't know. So they have no concept of mom and dad. So to me, that whole language, or the ability to look up to someone who is supposed to be in their family is kind of eroding. That's my point of view.
Thank you for sharing, Daniel. This is something where, as I never had the opportunity to see, because I think most of my parents in the school is all in La La Land one. But really, they have so much time to call me throughout the day to talk about their children's behaviors. But these are the parents that really care. Like even the small thing, try to kill himself. Yeah. So thank you for sharing that. Like, at the end of the day, there are more parents who are so busy working and they have children for the sake of having children, instead of, I have children because I love my kids. I want to do something for them. I want to be a part of their lives. And I actually want to know what I'm doing. I feel that's one.
I think another thing that's like, as Danielle was sharing in the whole conversation is where it's gone, right? Also just realizing the connection between adults and children is such an important role, and it's such an important space. And especially the family around. And I wouldn't just put it on the parents, because I think we all know it takes a village, right? And at least in my home, we are a village, right? Like my parents, my husband, myself, my in-laws, all of us are like so in love with my nephew and niece. But there's one thing that I definitely do notice, even with my nephew who's only 6, and and I started talking to him about emotions and naming emotions when he was 2. And really helping him understand that emotions are not a bad thing. Like anger is anger, sadness is sadness. You can cry, and you can cry when you're sad, you can cry when you're angry, you can cry when you're happy, and that's fine. You can feel angry and still feel sad, and holding all of these emotions are completely fine, and they're completely human. But if I look at the rest of my family, they may not have those same conversations with him, not because they don't want to, but I don't think it's at top of mind, right? Because we're so focused on things, and for me it's so important to, like, can I have deep conversations with this 2-year-old who's now a 6-year-old? And I do see how that impacts him. So, like, for example, a couple of months ago, I stayed over with my mom and my nephew. I don't know where the rest of my family were. They were on some outside. Oh, I think my niece was in the hospital, so she was there. Blah blah blah. But that was a time where I got to spend time with him, and there was one behavior that I picked up, which is every time he was losing at a game, he would get angry, and then tears would flow immediately, and he doesn't want to play. And I'm like, what's happening? And and just asking him. And I think the other side of my family is like, don't put ideas into his head. Don't put emotions that he isn't feeling into his mind. And I'm like, but the thing is, it's human to feel those things, but they just don't know what it is. And unless we give him the language and the vocabulary to understand what it is, how is he ever going to understand and name it and then work through it, right? And and then he shared, and then he started crying so much, and it was like I felt like a gate opened up, that the feeling was, oh, I can finally talk about all of these things, and I can finally not be judged for crying, because there is the stigma. And I'm like, I'm a, drop of a hat, I cry all the time. So I'm an advocate for crying anytime, every time, whatever the situation is. So I'm like, it's okay to cry. And I think just that freedom to cry, that freedom to express anger, sadness, and not be judged for it, and not be belittled for what that is, and how much that is needed for a child. And I think as adults, we're not even carving out that space. We're not even carving out that environment to say, like, these are big emotions. And like your example that you gave, Belle, to name emotions, to identify emotions in others, and to be able to pick that up. We're so afraid of all of these things. We don't even have these human, forget not knowing who your mom and dad is, but like, do you even know what human interactions are? Do you even know what the depth of human interactions can be? Because that's what homes and these relationships are supposed to be doing. But I think just seeing that, and it's not like my house is a bad home, it's a great home. I had so many wonderful experiences, and I know I had deep conversations with my parents, but I think in just the way that we're built, we're so focused on doing, that can I take a time to acknowledge and to just give space for whatever this child is going through, and allow them to figure it out with them. Yeah.
No, I fully agree. Sorry, Zoe, you wanted to say something.
I just wanted to thank her for sharing. That's why as adults, I feel that it's so important for us to hold space. We have not to give space, but just to hold it for children, make it safe and hold space for them to share. Because having these breakthrough moments for children is so important, and they can't have it with their families. Parents too busy. Teachers at times don't know, don't care. It's not being taught in whatever teacher school they have. In all degree, this is for my personal experience with all the degree holders that graduated from early childhood education. When you ask them, what's the developmental milestones of a 2-year-old? I don't know, I did not learn. So we don't talk about developmental milestones, but emotional excellence, empathy, how to hold space, hold conversations, hold deep conversations. It's not being portrayed out in families and in communities. So I feel this is something that is lacking, creating deeper relationships between people in a community. That is actually one of the things that I aspire to do within the school, within Malacca first, to hold space for parents so that they are able to hold space for their children and listen, and really listen. So thank you for sharing, Kathy, because that is something where it reminded me of certain things. It reminded me and inspired me to restart some things.
Thank you, Zoe. It's also inspiring me to start things too.
Yeah, and I like that, because I wanted to echo almost the same thing you were saying, Zoe. Teacher, I come from a family of teachers lah. So I remember Mrs. Rasama Bupalan. She stood for women to have equal pay as teachers in 1960s, and everyone hated her, including the men. But she was able to hold space for women who Rita Vyas obviously is a woman who vehemently went against Dr. Mahathir and said, I demand equal pay for all school principals who are women. And the answer was, oh, that's because when they give birth, they take maternity leave. And she looked at that time the prime minister and told him off and said, well, if they didn't give birth, you wouldn't be here. So therefore, she demanded equal pay for that. And it was all, and they obviously didn't know the lingo of emotional intelligence, emotional, excellence. They didn't know that term, but they were literally standing for it and that space to hold for women. And I learned more about holding space from them than anyone else. And the scary thing about this is this only happened this evening. I was in our company training on, and during lunch break of all the times they have to do lunch break, and here I am, I'm like damn hungry, I want to go and eat. And this girl who is about 22, 23, from an intern converted to permanent staff, she sits down with me and says, can you go through my DISC personality thingy? And as I was going through with her, she starts crying. And I'm like, I want to eat, la. Why are you crying now, la? Okay, so let her cry. Like you say, la, hold space, but hunger, but holding space. Huh? And then I asked her, so what was all the crying about? And she said, my family is breaking up. And I have thought of committing suicide. And number two, whilst I don't want to commit suicide, I'm now hurting myself because I'm actually scratching and cutting my hands because I just don't know how to handle this. And it all starts when they are young and they are coming into the workforce and they don't know how to handle emotions. And when you wrote, Zoe and Kathy, as you were sharing, I mean, you were talking about, can teachers learn this? I think it's one of the most critical. Ya Allah, sedap ni ada pergi tengok tidur dengan bantai dia. Can teacher learn? Sorry, God. Can teachers learn this? I think it is critical curriculum for teachers, adult trainers to learn, understand, and apply. Yeah.
Like teachers, like even in my school, like not everybody holds space for a child. It's only when you realize how important that is, then you will practice. Until that realization doesn't come to someone, then for them it's just another subject, just another topic, just another lesson plan. Yeah, that's the attitude I see in teachers nowadays, which is very sad. They are not as passionate, or they are not fully into their job, and we are dealing with like little ones here. Yeah, which is very sad.
You know why is it like that, Isabelle? Most people who become teachers, right, is because they have no choice or they don't know what to do, and it's the easiest choice. Really, I have 30 teachers in the school. I went to ask them, why do you choose? Oh, I don't know what I want to study. This looks easy, so I studied this.
Not easy. Early childhood is not easy.
I mean, that's the reality of it. You go to the maktab, government school maktab, you ask, why are you here? These are teachers who told me, why are you here? I asked them, why are you here? Oh, I didn't get the course I wanted, and this was offered to me. That's it. So that is one of the reasons. But I'm also very aware about the time, and we want to end on time. So shall we end with something that we are grateful for? Who wants to go first? I think let Mars go first. She's going to fall asleep soon.
She came to life.
Yes, I'm grateful for this bed that I have after a long day and listening to this wonderful, wonderful conversation. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm very blessed that I'm in this call. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Mars.
Love
Mars,
that you're here.
I can go next. I'm really grateful for this dialogue, and I think what it opens up on so many levels, not just and I think it's not just with children particularly and school systems, but it's humans, right? And so that's why I see all of us are so involved in this, not just because it's about children, but yes, they're the next generation of adults and the next generation and the next generation. And this is something that is so close to my heart, and constantly I'm like, you know, like if the world could just be a better place by now, that would be great. Can we just get our act together? So so I'm really grateful for people like the both of you, because I always think it starts from a young age. As much as we work with people and adults in the organizations, it starts from the seed itself. It starts from when the roots are forming. So I'm grateful for the both of you and the work that you're doing so passionately and so deeply, with love. And I think, thank you for having this space. Thank you for having this space where we can speak about it. And what this has done for me is open my heart a lot more, and I feel more empathy. I'm learning so many more things, and it's like, can we have more of these conversations? Irrespective of whether I'm a parent or a teacher, I think these are conversations needed to be had. So I'm grateful for the both of you and the conversation, and that this is just the first conversation. Yeah.
thank you, Kathy. You want to choose the next person?
I will choose Bhavani, the gratefulness advocate, who is now busy cleaning her
Somehow I
house.
saw that coming. Speaking about kids and all, I'm just glad that it's Deepavali soon. And I get to meet all the little kids from all the cousins, my own sister and all, because it's been a while, and sometimes it's just so difficult to catch up, because to see the kids, I need to make appointment with the parents, and to catch the parents is another, like, finding that common time is just so, sometimes we make the appointments, and then traffic jam or floods or something just happens, and fingers crossed, Deepavali, I'll get to see every one of them. But that means my wallet gets thinner, but it's okay. It's going to be a happy wallet. Well, I don't know whether the wallet will be happy. Let's say it is. But I'm definitely going to be happy catching up with the kids and really giving them a tight hug, knowing what's happening around us right now. So that's what I'm grateful for. Thank you so much. Who's next? Maybe I will pass it on to Mother.
I am grateful for Marfa being around and Marfa organizing this, because otherwise I will not get to meet you all. I suppose in a small way, I'm grateful for Daniel for, being around. Small way. And I'm grateful for everyone here actually having very, very open, brave hearts to share so frankly, because honestly, when I read the topic, I was going like, this has got zero relevance to me, like, what kind of topic is this? We're dealing with adults here. But listening to both Zoe and Belle, really, there's actually a lot of things that I've learned, not just about my two kids, but also for the adults that I deal with at work, the students that I also teach, the younger adults as well. So thank you so much.
For sharing, Mala. Daniel, your turn.
Yeah, I know. She was trying not to go that extra inch to pick on me. Well, I'm grateful for Malaysians to have this conversation, and I'm also grateful that there is still hope for Malaysia lah, because we are still having these conversations, and I'm really grateful to learn and come into the space of facilitation where we can have an open, honest dialogue about some of the most sensitive topics in a family, namely children. And so I'm actually grateful for that. Back to you, Zoe.
Thank you. I'm going to pass it on to Isabelle first. I want to hear from her.
I'm grateful for this evening. I was super nervous. Honestly, when my sore throat came, I'm like, okay, this is my escape. Yeah, but oh no, I am truly grateful to be able to listen to Zoe, to hear all of you share from your perspective, your point of view, your experiences, and giving us feedback. It being so interactive tonight, although it's just 7 of us, 7 heaven. Yeah, but yeah, it's such a meaningful night. I truly had so much fun learning from each and every one of you. Really grateful. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I'm really grateful for tonight. All of you inspired me with restarting everything, especially with whatever that is going on right now. The world is crazy now. So through deeper conversations, we actually can inspire each other to push forward to create a better Malaysia for the future. So
to that.
no more water, but cheers to that. Got. Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much, everyone. Good night.
Thank you and have a great night.
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Happy Diwali.
Happy
Bye.
Diwali.
Diwali.
Well done.
Thank you.
Great job, ladies. Well done.